Once again, welcome students to this class, E-class of BCCA semester 2. This is the third part of the same lecture and we were discussing the story, the dispenser of holy water. In the previous lecture, we discussed that one evening he was sitting at the same place, that is vestibule. Who was sitting? The wheelwright. Now the new holy water dispenser. And he noticed. Now see, what did he do that time? What did he notice? One evening as it was growing dusk. Dusk means evening. It was the end of the day and it was the evening time. The three strangers entered together. When they had passed, the old man said, "Well, do you know him?" His wife anxiously tried to ransack her memory. "Remember, okay." Suddenly she said in a low tone, "Yes, yes, but he is darker, taller, stouter and is dressed like a gentleman. But father, all the same, it is your face when you were young." So one evening, what happened? When he was sitting at the vestibule of the church, at the entrance of the church, and he was doing his work of sprinkling holy water on the people, giving that holy water to the people, his wife also was sitting beside him. They both were sitting together. They noticed two of them. Two of them is two ladies, one young lady, another old lady, and that young man. Okay, they passed by him and he did his job of sprinkling the water. He asked, he somewhere felt that they knew those people. He had seen those people in the past, but he could not remember because of his advanced, because of his old age. And that's why he asked this question to his wife, whether she had seen that particular young man, okay, who was following both the ladies. Okay, the lady, the wheelwright's wife also could not remember, but after some time she remembered something and said that the man is darker, he is tall, he is healthy, he is robust, okay, he is well-bodied, he is handsome also, and said that it is your case when you were young. The man literally looks like you when you were young, okay, and this started something in the mind of the wheelwright. He started thinking and it was true actually. Okay, he looked like himself and also like his brother who was dead and like his father whom he remembered while he was yet young. Okay, and the face of that man resembled the wheelwright's face when he was young. He looked like his father who was no more now. Okay, his dead brother also. So somewhere he found, the wheelwright found the similarity, the resemblance between the face of that young man and the face of himself when he was young. So this time also, the people entered the holy place, the shrine or the church. The man touched his finger to the holy water sprinkler. Then the old man, whose hand was trembling so that he was fairly sprinkling the ground with holy water, exclaimed. And this time when they came out of the church, okay, when they coming out of the church, the wheelwright, now the sprinkler of holy water, the dispenser of holy water, literally cried loudly. Okay, called that man and said, "Jinn." Actually, he took the name of his own son because he was very sure this time that most probably, I'm using the word most probably, the person who was in front of him, that young man, was no other than his own son, Jinn, whom he had lost when his son was just 5 years old. And till that point of time, they were literally searching, were going from post to pillar in search of their son. They had visited so many people, met so many people, had visited so many places, had talked to so many people, had inquired in the government offices, non-government offices about their son, and at last they had found a person who was like their son. Okay, at least his face was like their son, and this time he was quite sure that he was none other than their son only. And that's why when this time the wheelwright or the dispenser of holy water saw that man, the young man, he literally loudly cried and said, "Jinn." The young man stopped suddenly. He was following both of those ladies, okay, the young lady and the old lady. But when that young man heard this jinn, he just stopped there. The young man stopped and looked at him, and in surprise, in astonishment, in amazement, he looked at that man, the dispenser of holy water of the wheelwright. He repeated in a lower tone, Jinn. Now, in the lower tone, he said, Jinn. He was too much happy. He was too much happy. He repeated in a lower tone, Jinn. The two women looked at them without understanding. Both the ladies could not understand what the wheelchair was doing, or what the dispenser of holy water was doing, or why he was crying, why he was loudly calling, taking this particular name, that is Jinn. The two women looked at them without understanding. He then said for the third time, sobbing as he did so, Jinn. And third time also, when the young man stopped and looked at him, he said in again a lower tone, Jinn, and started sobbing, started crying. His eyes were full of tears. The tears rolled down on his cheeks. He was too much happy at heart. At last, he had found his lost son. After such a large bit, after such a big gap of time, he was meeting his son. But now, see, this was just one-sided calling. Okay, response was yet to be received from the another end or the other side. Okay, it means from that young man. Now, whether that young man was his son, it's a question. Let's see. The man stopped down with his face close to the old man's as the memory of his childhood dawned on him, and he replied. The young man also remembered his childhood and said, Papa Pirre Mama Jinne. What? Papa Pirre Mama Jinne. He had remembered for this long period of time also these only four words, Papa Pirre Mama Jinne. He had forgotten everything. He means that young man. Exactly, if you are thinking in this direction, then you are correct, my students. Because that young man was their son and he could remember only these four words, Papa Pirre Mama Jinne. Okay, and how did it happen? Where had he gone for so many days? Where he has been for such a long gap of time? It's given at the end. So he had forgotten everything, his father's name, surname, of his native place, but he always remembered those two words that he had so often repeated, Papa Pirre Mama Jinne. And he had kept only these two or four words in his mind till this point of time, and rest of the things, all of the other things were quite wiped out from his mind, because it was a very huge, a very big gap in time in his life. Okay, of course, that young man was the wheelwright's son. He sank to the floor, his face on the old man's knees, and he put his head on the knees of the old man, started literally crying, because after such a huge gap of time they were meeting. Okay, his son, that young man was meeting his father and mother. The two ladies also wept, understanding that they did that some great happiness had come to pass, and both the ladies also understood that something could have happened to them, and they could see all that scene with their open eyes, with their naked eyes. Okay, they were also happy at heart. Then they all went to the young man's house and he told them the history, actually what had happened. Okay, just come in just remember the beginning of this story. Okay, focus on the beginning. Their son Jin had lost, okay, somewhere. Actually, what had happened that time? Some circus people had come to that village and they had abducted, kidnapped, or carried off the 5-year-old Jin. Okay, and after that, nearly for 3 years, the band of the circus people, the group of circus people traveled nearly for 3 years continuously from one place to another place, from one country to another country. After that, the troop or the group disbanded. Okay, all the people started leaving the band or the circle or the group of the circus. And one lady was there who was caring, who was good natured lady. She decided to keep Jin along with herself. Okay, and as Jin was good, he was talented, he was smart, he was intelligent, she decided to send him to school and then college. And the old lady had no children, and that's why she had love and affection for little Jim. And when she died, she left all the property, all the money, whatever amount of money she had, a huge amount of money was left for Jim as a successor to her, or as a heir, HEIR, successor to her. And this way he had earned good money also. He had got the love and affection of that lady. He always saw in that lady his mother, but as it was a long period of time, he had forgotten everything, the name of his village, the original place where he was living, the name of his father, the name of his mother, their surname, etc. The only words which were in his mind after these years, so because he kept repeating those words, okay, many times whatever we learn and whatever we are repeatedly told, we definitely remember that for a longer period of time, and it happened with this Jin also. He always repeated those words, and that's why he could very clearly remember, okay, these words, Papa Pere, Mama Jine. He had been unable to do so. Okay, rest of the things were literally forgotten from his mind. He had forgotten everything. So this way they met and they started living along with that young man, means their son Jin. This was the ending, and all of them were very happy, and rest of their life they were happy. Now see, what is the message? What do we learn from this? The dispenser of holy water that lost their son. The wheelwright and his wife had lost their son Jin when he was just 5 years old, right? But they did not lose the hope, they did not lose the confidence, they did not lose the faith, they did not lose the belief in their heart, and there was a burning desire in their heart that today or tomorrow they will find their son. Okay, this hope they had in their life, and they pursued their entire life, searching their son. They continued searching for their son. At last, their efforts yielded results. Okay, and at last they found their son amid a big, a big city like Paris. Okay, among so many people, at last they found their son Jean. So in your life also, don't lose hope. If you are hopeful, if you are confident, if you have faith in your efforts, in yourself, if you have strong belief in yourself, if you have the burning desire in your heart, and if you pursue, if you follow your dream, then definitely you meet the good results. Okay, the success is awaiting there. Go ahead in your life. This is the lesson that we take, that we learn from the dispenser of holy water. So this is the end of this story. Here the story is completed, and we stop here. Thank you.